even go to the dispensary. It's like, well, I used to get in cars with strangers to go get drugs.
It is. It's frightening, actually, how easy it is to get drugs these days. Today, we talk with David Jensen about addiction. He's unfiltered and he's funny and shit gets real. We talk about the tools he uses to live a healthier life, like working out and skating. Skate or die. So, Valentine's Day is on the horizon. Do we care? Not into it this year? Well, make sure you love yourself. Never be a prisoner of your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence, people. As Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic philosopher, said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Hello, Mr. Jensen.
Hello.
Hello. This is my friend David from Las Vegas. I met you at a wedding. You were my brother's guest, right?
That was like 20 years ago.
Our friendship has actually outlasted that marriage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So let's start at the beginning. Tell us about your childhood.
Single mom, like different stepdads, boyfriends, that kind of stuff. Kind of my generation, your kind of typical household, split family, like dad fucked off. Or am I allowed to, do I have to watch what I say?
Of course you can swear. This is my podcast.
Okay. Some of the ones I listen to, it's like, you can't say this, you can't say that. So I didn't want to get you in trouble with the YouTube Nazis.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like typical, all my friends had a similar upbringing, like.
So your mom was dating a lot when you were a teenager?
Yeah. And then, I had a few stepdads and things like that. And just, I don't know, it's kind of part and parcel for the course, I guess, for that time. I finally, I went to therapy and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, I kind of look at it like the trauma that I experienced, I should use that to do better things and not dwell on it. And you know what I'm saying?
Dwell on what? Not having a dad around?
Yeah, like that. And, abuse and stuff like that. It's like.
What, you were abused?
All of it.
Like
Yeah.
physically, mentally? All of it? I'm sorry, dude. I didn't know that.
I thought we had talked. I don't know, but yeah, it's like after the therapy and stuff. I kind of the past like 2 or 3 years, I kind of come to the realization that at the end of the day, it's up to me or up to the individual to deal with it. Like, yes, it's cool to talk about it, have friends and support, but at the end of the day, it's what you do with that toolbox, you know, to either you can, I've had problems with alcohol and stuff like that and drug abuse, but I realized like, well, I'm the one that chose to go to the bar or whatever. And if I just make that simple switch to go, no, go skateboard, or ride my bike or go to the gym or paint or do something productive. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The choices we make, right? And yeah, addiction, drugs, that's inherently not the problem. You're covering up something else, right? You're numbing something else.
Like that's helped me over the past 2, 3 years than any like therapy, like talking to friends or, you know what I mean? Like conversations. Like I just kind of came to the point that the medication is myself or to treat the symptoms. Like it's up to the individual to get through. So
damn, you just came in here.
Maybe I pushed on the gas a little too fast.
Whoa, we're like 3-4 minutes
Well,
in.
that's how I roll, sweetheart. What, in for a penny, in for a pound, man.
Let's back up. So, all right, the abuse from your mom's boyfriends, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and a little bit her, like, and I get it, like being a single mom and having a wise ass kid, firstborn, all of that shit. Like, I wasn't a bad kid. I would just kind of take the piss a lot out of her because I was upset. You know what I mean? So, like, one story, I was like a little bit too old, I think, to be getting swatted, but she had just had enough. 13 or 14, and just talking mad shit to her. And she went to get this wooden spoon. And I went up to my room and I grabbed a book and I put it behind, like in my shorts. And then I ran downstairs and I bent over and I go, come on. and she broke the spoon and then grabbed a frying pan and whacked me on the ass. And I was like, oh, I kind of understood her side of it a little bit. You know, like you got this wise ass kid cracking jokes, and I remember she was cooking dinner, and I was like, oh, just being a dick, like, oh, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? You know, like, when are we gonna eat? When are we gonna eat? You know, she's like, just shut up, just leave me alone. Like, and I was like, like, that's it. And the second she said that's it, I ran upstairs, grabbed the book, was like, all right, and then I went and like had my ass out and was like, what are you gonna hit me? You gonna hit me? And she went at it and then grabbed the frying pan and just and then she was like, you little bastard, you had a book in your pants. I said, that's and she's like, that's not fair, that's cheating. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna let you hit me with a fucking spoon or a frying pan. Like, what the hell, like, come on.
Since
So
having a child, yeah, you don't, you're
like,
kind of a bit more clued in on how hard raising a child can be, you know? I personally would not want to do it by myself. It's hard enough with, me and my partner. It's
yeah.
yeah, but some people are down with physical punishment.
Like, I know the difference between like discipline and abuse because I've been through it. I have that barometer to go, okay, like I'm maybe like pulling someone by the back of the neck and being, look, calm down or whatever. I get that. But
Yeah.
then when it crosses a line where you're actually being beat or other things, like that's wrong,
Yeah.
because kids can, like I just made the example, like I was being a little prick, you, you know, and a child can push a parent. So I kind of feel like there is a certain balance where it's like, okay, if you've tried to talk and be like, hey, knock it off, or mom or dad is busy, just go play with your toys or go to your room, and the child persists, it's like, well, I kind of you brought it on yourself. I've seen parents, like just pull their kid and just be like, no, like knock it off, and other people are like whisper, like, oh, that's abuse and that's trauma. It's like, no, it's not. Like beating the shit out of a kid, that's abuse, that's trauma. But like kind of correcting them and being or grabbing them by the back of the shirt and being like, here, stand here, stop, fucking with the napkins or whatever and throwing straws out at Starbucks. You don't get to act like that in a public place, and then equally the parents that sit there and, oh, kids are acting like a banshee and, oh, well, okay, here's some candy and here's this, and, oh, just please be quiet, and the kids even going further, it's like, well, yeah, maybe a slap on the ass or a little bit of a, here, I'm going to get you by the neck and put you in your place. I think that that's okay.
Yeah, it's like a huge no-no telling anyone how to manage their child. I've seen a lot of parents who take shortcuts, for lack of a better word. They reward negative behavior. It might work instantly in that moment, but you've got bigger problems later on.
Yeah.
So I moved around a lot when I was younger. So I was able to reinvent myself. You have lived in Las Vegas all your life. Do you have the same friends you had growing up?
um no, because I'll put it this way, like I'm not in contact with them because I think the friends that I have to this day I met at university. And I think there's a good distinction there because when I was younger, growing up skateboarding and stuff like that, I was exposed to some pretty gnarly shit. And because at that,
Like what? Tell me.
I mean, just like weird, explicit sexual things, like, because a lot of my friends at that time were anywhere from 2 to even 10 years older than me. So, being 12, 13, 14 and having these dudes with all these like little skate buddies around, I was still, wet behind the ears, but they were, doing stuff that, I mean, I'll tell you that is like, looking back on it, I'm going, that was traumatic, to watch what some of these dudes did to these chicks and vice versa. It wasn't a healthy thing.
You have the power to choose.
Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, back then it was a different world, like whatever. But once I was once I went to university, I kind of because I'd always kind of done my own thing, but I wanted acceptance, obviously. When you're a kid, and all these top dudes were, I'm skateboarding with and hanging out with, and they're pro, and it's so there was that kind of desire to be like, oh, I hope, Paul Smith likes me or Chad Muska likes me or Kenny Anderson or whoever, like I hope all these dudes like me. And then, but was like, well, I like reading, I like music. I want to go to university. I wanted, to be a teacher or a lawyer or whatever. So once I graduated high school and went to university, I kind of cut a lot of those dudes out of my life. And they were going down the road of like drugs and all that stuff. And like a lot of these guys, they're dead now, but I looked at it at the time, was like, well, I don't want to do that. I didn't yeah, I like the skate or die, punk rock, yeah, rock and roll, all that stuff, but like not to the level that they did. They went too far with it, and so when I went to university, I met people that were more like-minded and kind of like more even keeled,
Yeah.
I guess.
Maybe more emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I saw a lot of like sex and drugs the end of middle school. We were living in Southern California at the time. And yeah, I saw it going on around me. It was scary. That was way too young to experience that stuff. Listeners, if ever you've seen the movie Kids, I can relate. And it sounds like David, you kind of had a similar situation going on. So how long you been skating now?
What am I, 46? Well, I mean, I'm gonna go from the actual technically, like since I was 5, but for like those first 2 years, it was just like, um, you know, going down the driveway on my butt or trying to stand up, or like do like little 360 spins. And then when we moved to the east side of town, one of my neighbors, God, was it Jason Carcuda, gave me his old Natas Coppice. And he was like 12 or 13 at the time. And he like kind of got me into the fold of like, this is cool. And started showing me how to ollie and do board slides and stuff like that. So that's when I was just like, holy shit, I could do this. This is on me. At the same time, I was playing football or soccer, like, but there was this weird thing with organized sports as opposed to skateboarding where I was really good at both, but I still to this day don't like being told what to do.
Saying sorry to someone can
You know,
go.
I've always had a problem with authority, and especially at that time, it was the managing style was I'm the coach or the manager, like I know what I'm doing, you do this. And it's like, well, I knew better. I'm like, I'm ambidextrous. Like I can strike from either foot. Like, don't you want to score more goals? You don't want to just park the bus and play defense and win, 1-0 or 2-1, that kind of crap. So I kind of let the football like taper off and just got immersed in skateboarding because if things are going bad at home, I could jump on my board and go down to Albertsons and skate the curb or the manual pad and just be free, you know, and let my own creativity take over,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, would you say you're more of like a street skater? Do you skate pools and like ramps and vert?
Well, I can do I can do pools and stuff like that, but back in our day, we didn't have a whole lot of options for like vert,
Yeah.
which would be ramp. There were a lot of pools that we skated, which is fun, but I don't know. Like for me, the street was more free. Like when you're skating down the street, oh, I'm gonna ollie over this and backside 180 this, and just it was more of a free flowing thing for me. Where being on a ramp or a pool, like it just kind of felt restrictive
Yeah.
for me,
Okay.
you know. So, but that's I can do both, but my stuff was obviously street.
Straight. Yeah. Who
Yeah.
are some of the skaters you look up to?
I mean, I could say like the typical like Mark Gons, Ray Barbie, Jason Lee, that kind of stuff. But the dudes that really influenced me were some of the ones I still talk to this day, like Julian Stranger, Chris Markovich, like those dudes. Even though I wasn't like friends with them, but they'd come. Vegas was like kind of a stopover from on skate tours, and the times I got to spend with those guys, like I remember Markovich, 97 or 8 was on a tour for this shoe company called Duff's, and there was like a bunch of dudes like Chris Pastras, like all these pro dudes, and like Markovich and I were just sitting on the curb, and he's like, dude, he's like, you're 18, you've got maybe 3 to 4 years in this game. He's like, you already own a condo, you got a great job, you're going to school. He's like, why do this for 3 4 more years and be kind of kicked out? Because mind you, at that time, you didn't have 30 40 plus year old professional skateboarders still doing it. By 24 or 25, you were out. Like Jason Lee, when he turned 25, he retired,
Yeah.
and that was in like 95. So I kind of took Chris's advice and was like, well, yeah, like I never stopped skateboarding, but I stopped pursuing it as, maybe a career or a way to make money.
Yeah.
So, but once again, it was a different time. But that's the kind of like real honest advice that I got, not this, and I get being having a cheer like, oh yeah, you could do it, you're awesome. But he kind of brought it to the reality, like, back then I was, working at Kinko's making $15 an hour. And this is like 97, 98.
Well, that was bloody good money back then.
You know what I mean? That was that.
Kinko's definitely saved my ass more than once in college. I wonder if they were still around what they'd pay now. Wow.
Exactly. I mean, I don't, I graduated college with no debt, owned a condo, like so like I said, it was, I took advice that was the smart, easy way. You know what I mean? To go, look, dude, like, no, you got a great job. You got a lot going for you. Just stick to that and,
Yeah.
go ahead,
What do you?
you know?
Who's like the oldest in the scene in the skate scene right now? Well, besides Tony Hawk.
Like, well, Tony Alvin, that dude's pressing 70. And that dude, I mean, he's still jumping fences, going
Really?
to pools. Like, look him up. He's kind of considered like the godfather of skateboarding. Once again, he went through his trials and tribulations with drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. But like maybe his early 50s, got like clean and sober, like doing yoga and exercising, all this stuff. And like I said, he's close to 70 years old and still like scouting out pools to skate and jumping fences in people's backyards and like being a dirty skate rat at almost 70 years old. It's fucking awesome.
I love that.
Like, and I mean, you hear like, it's funny too, because once again, I played organized sports and I sit there and like, Michael Jordan ain't doing that shit. Andre Agassi, they're tennis players and basketball players. Like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, I've watched clips of Tony Alva like slamming in a pool at almost 70, getting back up and going, all right, I'm gonna go again. I don't see any ex-professional like basketball, baseball player like doing any of that. Hey, Bubba's.
Oh, that's little Hank. David's French bulldog. Can't jump on the couch. Legs a bit too short.
Hold on, I gotta put little man on the couch. Come here, I got you. I know.
Seriously, mate, are his legs too short to jump up there?
He can, but he's being a little punk. Come on, bud. I know. Well, okay, then you stay right there. We're not gonna play right now. You got to give me some time. But it's just funny because, you know, as big as skateboarding is now, it just bums me out that it's like they won't show you the dirt under the nails. It's, oh, we're in the Olympics now. It's like, well, yeah, but we've got this guy pressing 70 that is one of the baddest ass dudes on the planet, and he's still doing it. But then you've got these dudes that played basketball for 20 years that are like, oh, I'm not going to go play a pickup game. It's like, really, really, like you try hitting concrete and slamming your head or breaking an elbow at even my age, 46. What am I going to do after I heal? Jump back on my board,
Skateboarding definitely is punk rock. It's such a hard sport. I've I've been trying for years now. I love it. I admire skateboarders. I was listening to an interview with Jonah Hill. He said he would give like a digit, like a pinky finger maybe, or index finger, just to do some tricks. I actually feel the same way. I totally think I'd give him a little finger. For a laser flip, yeah, or a backside 360 kick flip, bring it. I can do tic-tacs all day. I can't do anything else. I've been practicing my manuals for years.
Have you learned to ollie yet?
No, I'm scared.
See, that's the thing. That fear will bite you.
Maybe I should put a helmet
Oh
on.
no. Well, I mean, if that helps you to learn how to do stuff, then I'm all for it. But my personal thing is like, I don't know. Once again, the era I grew up in, fuck pads. Like you got to break some bones. You got to slam hard. And that's the thing. I think with skateboarders in particular, there's just something different in, for a lack of better, like our DNA or our mindset that like you just do it because you love it and that's it. There's no, I don't know. There's not this, I don't know. Our brains are just kind of wired in a fucked up way, but it's good because it's that challenging. I mean, you can watch some videos of these dudes even to this day trying one trick for like 2 hours and just getting broke the fuck off. And then that last one that they do, it's just like, yes, it was all worth it. The blood, the sweat, the tears, the whatever, the scrapes, the broken bones. It's like, that's why you do it. It's this weird.
That's what I probably admire, the commitment.
Just like I said, our minds are just made up differently. It's not like, oh, I scored 40 points and I did all this stuff. Now I'm going to retire. It's like, well, no, you're never going to retire. As long as I can roll down the street, like I'm happy. Whether I'm doing it at 46 or 86 or 96, if I can't do it, then that's going to be a sad, sad day.
That would be a sad day. For some reason, I can't really imagine you old. Well, what's up with my hair? I've got like headphone hair.
It's a bit toupee-ish.
Oh, shut up. You're just jealous.
I'm fucking with you. Just shave it, man. Go full Sinead.
Me? No way. I do not have a lovely shaped head like she did. Plus, I think I'd have to change my whole wardrobe. I feel like I'd have to wear more feminine clothes, like frilly dresses.
I don't know. You got to do what you got to do.
I might get confused for a bloke.
Well, in this day and age, it'll work well. It's like, oh, here's my new pronouns.
Oh, bloody hell.
He, him, she, it, whatever.
Oh, that reminds me of a funny story. I was driving with Spencer and he was dangerously driving. He was going well over the speed limit.
Ooh.
And obviously we get pulled over and the state trooper comes up to his side of the window. He's got like this hat really low. You can't even see his eyes. So he asks for, Spencer's ID, gives it to him, and then he comes back and he goes, do you realize that it says you're a female? Spencer was like outraged. I am clearly a man. This is my wife. And this is my daughter. Violet was in the back seat. I was just laughing my ass
Oh, so
off.
but does it actually say on this driving license that it's female?
Yes.
I might do I might do that next time just to take the piss. Just to be like, ah, fuck it. You know, I'm gonna inflate my height. I'm 6'4". Whatever. That's how crazy shit's gotten. Like I'm all for creativity and like let's get real here. You know?
You about to smoke a cigarette? I thought you quit.
Actually, I've slowed that down.
Oh yeah.
Not I quit, but then I got back on, but I'm not anywhere near like what I was, like a pack a day type of shit. A pack might last me a week. So
Pack a week. That's not bad. Everything in moderation, darling. You still smoking weed?
yeah, well, the weed's good.
Apparently, old people call it weed. Not sure what they call it now.
Isn't it weird? Like you can go to the corner store now and get weed when back in the day it was like you had to page somebody, maybe drive to some dodgy like person's house or get picked up and be like, oh, where we like the shit we had to do to get weed or any drugs back in the day was like just like what the like kids now are like, oh hey, I can go to the dispensary. It's like, well, I used to get in cars with strangers to go get drugs. So there you go.
Oh my gosh.
Go to some weird hippie's house to get
You're
mushrooms.
so funny. It's so true though.
And they're like, hey man. Yeah.
David, let's talk about your love hate relationship with Las Vegas.
Well, the kind of love part I feel is it's a rad city. It's probably it's one of the most unique cities in the world. Okay, I know there's not much culture here, but it doesn't pretend to be what it's not. However, I'm going to contradict that statement when I talk about the hate part because yeah, all right, yeah, here, come gamble and drink and get off your face and all that stuff. But then there's like this level of, well, that's all they want is your money. Like my dad said it best years ago. He's like, Las Vegas attracts the best of the worst, and that's where the kind of hate side of it comes in. You know what I mean? They won't just be upfront and be like, we're playing on all your addictions, and if like they want the ones that are the weakest to come here because they're going to get more money from gambling, alcohol, whatever. You know what I mean? And I know you like as an advert for Las Vegas, it's probably not the smartest thing to be saying or doing, but it is what it is. You know, like uh, I don't know where I was going with that one.
Yeah, I forget what year I was in Vegas. Just for 1 year, thank God. 97 maybe. I'm terrible about remembering dates. Yeah, so I came from like the Oxford area. I had friends who were working in bars. I was hanging out in bars, playing pool. And hey, we're going to Las Vegas. My stepfather was in the military, so mum's like, you coming? And yeah, if you make me a really good fake ID, sure. I moved on from Vegas to California and went to college. But coming back to the United States at 18 from the UK was like I regressed.
Well, that's the other thing, just in general, like you could be 18 to die for this country, but you can't get a drink. Like, really?
Dwell on what? Not having a dad around?
Well, you're lucky.
Do they still have that pool hall, the Q Club, I think it's called?
Yeah, over the pool hall over on God, was it is it Sahara in like Maryland?
That's it. It's still there. That's
Yep,
where I was every
yep.
weekend.
See, I can't believe I never. Well, you were only here a year, but I remember seeing your brother at Tower Records because he worked there.
Yeah, one summer. Yeah.
Yeah, like and I was like, oh, he's English, like he'll know about the good shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like what I was trying to say is like, so when I met your brother, the memories started to come back, and he's like, yeah, I used to work at Tower Records. Like, that's where I recognize you from.
Oh, okay. He told me a funny story while he was working there. Mike Tyson came in and he gave him a bunch of free stuff. And he said he really wanted to photo with him, but he wanted to put Mike Tyson in a headlock.
Oh God. Years ago, we ran in Teddy Sheringham had retired. We ran into him. I think it was him, Wayne Rooney. I can't remember the third guy at the Crown and Anchor. You should ask him about it. He might still have the photo. It was funny. It was right in the car park, and it was right after. It was like, I think it was that season that he retired,
Yeah.
because at the time he was like the oldest footballer in the Premier League to, I think it was like for 40 something like
Yeah.
that.
No, I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing that photo. Let's talk more about your addictions. You've been to AA, right?
I've tried a lot of stuff, the self-help, all that, but at the end of the day, I'm the cure, but the disease, if that makes sense. So what I learned, I even went to AA and I thought, okay, this would be good for me. I went into it with an open mind and I thought, all right, I'm really gonna give this a try. And after about the fourth or fifth meeting, I thought, okay, like they're all about sharing and your story and blah blah blah. And, So I piped up, and on our break, these four people like kind of went in hard on me and were like, "Oh, you really need to choose God and this and that, and this is the perfect thing for someone like you who's anti-authority." And I'm like, well, you just proved my point. I thought it was, and once again, I forget that human beings are assholes, just in my opinion, and they want that control or whatever. And I thought it was more of like supposed to be like a friendship of like, oh, okay, let me help you and show you the way. Kind of the way like in skateboarding or football, like, yeah, there's a way to do a kickflip or a way to strike a football, but if you just maybe turn your foot a little bit and not go, oh, you're doing it wrong and this is how you should do it. Like pull someone to the side and be like, hey, you got a great strike. Maybe if you could curl it a different way by just turning your foot a little bit, like that kind of way to like help and guide and all that. Not this, as ironic this might sound, because I'm a pretty intense dude, but being in someone's face and like, oh, you're wrong, and it's like, well, go fuck yourself, man. Like this, you just like, I came in here with an open mind, and you just shut it down by being the typical, oh, here, it's all in this book. This is what you need to do. No, it's not all in this book. But with my addiction, I know it's hereditary. I had staved it off till my dad died, till about 27. Like, yeah, I had drank and gone out and done, but it really kind of consumed me when my dad died. And for about 10 years, it was just bad. I was drinking pretty much every single day. At that time, I'd gotten to a pretty bad altercation, got addicted to Lortabs, and was popping 10 of those a day, which is funny because most people with addiction be like, oh, that was it. I was doing 30, 50 or whatever. It's like, well, I was
What's
also
that? What is that? Painkiller?
Lortabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically opiate based, it made me like numb, but in a happy way. Like I just didn't give a fuck. Like it was, I felt good, but that's suppressing, your demons or whatever bullshit I was really going through.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was about 38, 39, one of my buddies was like, hey, dude, like you probably should go see someone. So that's when I started the therapy. And once again, it helped. It was good, but I kind of came to the realization that you can't continually lean on a crutch. Okay. And that's what addicts do, is whether it's alcohol, sex, drugs, whatever addiction, food, shopping, whatever, like all it is a crutch. And so I kind of came to a point where I realized, well, at the end of the day, it's up to me to control this thing, you know, like, and that's it.
You have the power to choose.
Yeah, and to pat my, I don't like really, I don't like accolades or whatever, but I think what broke through was I actually do have a pretty strong mentality, whether you want to call it tenacity or stubbornness or whatever adjective you want to apply. I have a pretty strong will. And once I figured that out, it was a lot easier to kind of go, okay, mate, like 4 pints, that's it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to get completely shithoused because Man City won a fucking football match. You know, like yeah, it's exciting and all that, but it's like you got stuff to do later in the day. You got stuff to do tomorrow. You know, at the time I had, a girlfriend and whatever. Like you don't need to be all pissed up and then later at night start talking shit or because she might say something that because I'm not in the right mind, I might flare up and be like, oh, well, fuck that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, once I kind of saw that I do have the mindset to do it and control it, like it it got easier, but I still struggle. Yeah, of course. There's been, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like over the past, year and a half, there's been a couple of times where yeah, I've basically thrown up the white flag and went fuck it and woohoo, here's 60 beers, pill me up off the bar stool or the bar room floor.
What's going through your mind when you just want to drink? You just want to get obliterated.
The weird thing is it's been when I've been out with some of my buddies, that I don't get to see too often. So slowly gets to that point. And by the end of the night, like you go out at 6 o'clock for a couple of beers and hang out. And by the time it's 6 a.m., you've been to, 12 bars and you're hammered. It's not necessarily like I make like the choice to go, oh, here you go. It's time to let it fly. It just kind of happens. And there's a point where I look back and it's like, oh, it was the third bar of I'm having a great time. We're listening to great music. We're chatting shit. And it just like, all right, woo, like I can Uber home and life is good. You know what I mean? But then the next day you're like, oh, I feel like shit. And I'm not going to paint my house or fix something or, like, so it just sucks. But the good thing about it is, like I said, it's far and few between, you know, like it's not an an everyday thing or an every week thing or even every month. It's oh, I haven't seen Bill and John in 6 or 7 months. So there you go. Like we're off to the races. But the good thing about that is there's been no fighting people or crazy arguments. I mean, or just there was no negative aspects to it. It was just, yeah, okay, went out at 6 p.m., got home at 6 a.m., but I didn't have that dark cloud over like, well, do I have to apologize to somebody? Do I have a broken hand or like whatever? Like, did I piss someone off? It's been the only bad thing was, oh, I'm just completely hungover and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's when you get older, it's harder to recover for sure.
Yeah.
So you were 27 when your dad died?
Uh-huh.
How did your dad die?
He had cirrhosis, emphysema, lung cancer, throat cancer, and I think that's it.
Jesus.
Yeah, like within a year, it just ate him up.
Yeah.
But one of the things too, I with my childhood with him, yeah, he wasn't around, but the last, I don't know, we reconnected when I was about 18 or 19, and for those last 7, 8 years, he was my best friend. He was just honest about what he had done and how his actions affected me. And like even before he died, he was like, David, there's nothing more I'd like than to be smoking a cigarette, drinking whiskey with you, and maybe having a couple of titties in my hand. That's the dude he was,
Fair enough. No judgment from me.
unapologetic, but he would give you the shirt off his back. And that I feel is a rare quality. And that's, like even to this day, like some of my family members like, oh, you put your dad on a pedestal. I'm like, well, yeah, you know what? Remember what he did for you in this, and this situation? And like, oh yeah, you know. So I don't know. It really threw me through a loop. And then within 6 months, you know, one of my older brothers died, an aunt died, my granddad died, my grandmom died. And not that I used those things as an excuse to just be like, oh no, oh, you're feeling hurt. Oh, let's pour some booze and fucking cigarettes on it. Here, oh, here's 5 Lortabs. All right, let's do this.
That's definitely a lot of pain to endure. You've talked about your grandmother before. You were quite close, weren't you? Did you live with her?
No, she kind of like I would go up and visit her, for like a month at a time while my mom was doing whatever she was doing. She and my granddad, like even though it was only 4 to 5 weeks, whatever, they kind of showed me like what hard work is and being responsible and that kind of thing. Because I wasn't really getting that from home. Like I said, like if I was home, there was nowhere else I wanted to be other than like I want to get the fuck out of there.
And where did your grandparents live? They lived in Vegas, right?
No, well, my mom's side lived in Reno, so I would go up there.
So, how did you and your dad reconnect?
So I was on the phone with my mom's mom, my grandma on my mom's side, and she was like, you know, you got to let go of this just anger and hatred towards your father, because she was like, he's actually a really good man. And we had about a 2 hour conversation. And I said, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. So I called him up. He and I had like a 4 hour conversation. He apologized to me and gave me his side of the story on what he did and how his actions affected me, and that it wasn't intentional. And he always, like it was just, it was the first time that someone that was supposed to protect me, that abandoned me, was honest with me. Because I had tried with my mom and it was kind of like, oh, well, I did the best I could with what I had. Oh, like not kind of going, hey man, I'm sorry, but yeah, because of my actions, some really fucked up shit happened to you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw a lot of like sex and drugs the end of middle school. We were
Yeah,
living.
it's always like a deflection of like, well, I thought you needed, a strong male influence, or you're not given directions on how to raise a kid, much less a son, like that kind of shit. And I'm like,
Saying sorry to someone can go a long way. We are all imperfect. We all make
you
mistakes.
know, like, well, when I told my dad all this shit, like he dealt with it like a healthy, strong individual, you know, like, hey, I'm sorry, this is what was going on, and X, Y, and Z. And after, like I said, after that, I I gained way more respect and admiration for that man. He put his money where his mouth was. He faced my fire and I faced his fire, and we came out, like best of
Kinko's
friends.
definitely saved my ass more than once in college. I wonder if they were still around, what they'd pay now. Wow.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah. But even like that relationship's a funny one, but I've once again, I've kind of, I take it is what it is. And I kind of hate saying that, but for me, what's helped me is to just recognize the situation for what it is. It's more about me letting go than getting any kind of self validation or validation from her. I look at it this way. I got what I needed to get off of my chest to her, and that's on her if she can't deal with it or whatever. So that's kind of how I look at our relationship. It's like, oh, whatever, man. Like if she starts getting too much, I'm like, I gotta go. You know, I, I control that situation a lot better.
Yeah, I understand. You really can't change anyone. What you can change is your behavior towards them, right? So sometimes walking away, that's the best way to deal.
But that's the cool thing. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, like it's life is fucking rad. You know, I mean, it like, and even like all the bad shit, it's like, well, that's just as cool too. And I'm not advocating like being an asshole. No, like it's like I don't know. I'm honestly I'm proud of the dirt under my nails or whatever. Like I know I can jump in the shower, wash it off, and that's the same thing as stepping outside and going, God, it's a beautiful fucking day. I'm talking to one of my best mates. That's kind of what I thrive on. And like, all right, yeah, hey, shit's fucked up, but guess what? We can either fix it, and if we can't, we just move on about our day and go, all right, let's do something else.
Absolutely. There's so many things out of our control, but what we do have control over is our behavior and how we respond to those things. You can have a shitty day, go for it. You choose. Choose.
Well, that's one thing. I'm glad you brought up the Stoics because I think even that has gotten a little bit perverted in this sense. Like they tend to look at it as a negative, and I'm like, no, that's one of the most healthy ways to be. I can't do anything, so fuck it. I can do these things. So I'm gonna do these things instead of dwelling on the shit that I can't change or fix or deal with, you know, I'll just do this.
I have to work out. I have noticed I do get pissy if I don't work out. If I have skipped some sort of weightlifting or running, I need it not only for my mental health, but just my patience level. If I don't work out, it's, oof.
Well, it's once again, like that's one thing I've been fortunate for. I mean, when I was 10 or 11, I started doing like pull-ups, sit-ups, and push-ups. And then when I was 14, I bought myself, like, long story short, I've always been in exercising, working out. One thing I have changed, and I'm piggybacking on what you said about not working out. I used to do like 4 to 6 months on and then take like 2 to 3 weeks off. And the last time I took the 2 to 3 weeks off, insufferable. So now it's like, no, yeah, because you want to give your body a rest, and then after that rest, you get back to getting kind of hit hard. But I've realized that I've gotten older. I'm like, no, in order to maintain, this is something you just have to consistently do. What I do is I do 3 days on, 1 day off, just for recovery and stuff, and then just that's my cycle.
Seriously, mate, are his legs too short to jump up there?
Well, I do weights, cardio, um, stretching. Um, I haven't been to yoga in about 2 months, but just like because I get lazy with the yoga because the place I like it's like another place I have to go to instead of just going to the gym. So when I'm at the gym, I'm like, well, I can do my stretches and I know enough about it to just do it here instead of having, okay, well, I just went to the gym or now I got to drive to the gym or drive to yoga or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I do everything at home and running. It's free. It's outdoors. I can do that anytime.
Like I try to keep things very simple.
Skateboarding definitely is punk rock. It's such a hard sport.
Um, about all in total, about an hour and a half.
No, I can do 30 to 40 minutes a day. That's it. That's all I have time for. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it.
Well, once again, I do 30 to 45 minutes on the treadmill, and depending on that, like 45 minutes to an hour with weights and stretching and all that. Because these people that like, oh, you should be lifting for 2 hours. No, that's horrible on your body. That's too much stress. Like, no, you got to push yourself, but not destroy yourself while you're doing it. I remember when I was a little kid, when I first got a gym membership, there was this guy there named Chuck, and I was trying to lift like super heavy weights and whatever, and he said, "Work out your body, not your ego."
Sound advice, Chuck.
And he helped, yeah. Well, he stripped down all the weight. He goes, "Look, you start with this light stuff, build your reps up, and once you feel yourself getting stronger that way, then you can push it harder. You don't just start with 135 pounds on a bench press when you weigh 90 pounds."
Okay, David, we're coming to the end of our conversation. I like to ask my guests this same question. Who are you listening to? What are some of your favorite bands?
I think you know where I'm going to go with this, just because Oasis is my favorite band, and I got tickets. I'm buzzing still off. Like, it's my band. That was the first band for me that was like, this this is mine.
Why do you connect so much with them?
Well, because like think about it. Like, and I kind of look at myself like them. Like I'm I put on this front, like I'm Mr. Tough Guy and hard ass and whatever. But if you read their lyrics, you're like, this came out of these guys, these drunken, smoking, fighting, crazy men. And then you recognize, like, God damn, there's such a mind and a heart and a soul behind these lyrics. And some of the tunes, it's hidden up by these raucous guitar riffs and drums and just, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, like I said, just because they got back together and that's what's fresh in my head, I'm going with Oasis. Like,
Fair enough. I think they're a solid band. And seeing them live at Wembley, is that where you're going? That's going to be epic.
oh man. And then the cool thing, one of my other buddies who's a Tottenham supporter, he got tickets for the Wembley gigs.
Oh, fabulous.
So we're doing a double banger. And
you're going to have so much fun. Good for you.
Heaton Park, Manchester, and then Wembley in London.
Epic. Once in a life, baby.
Yeah. Richard Ashcroft is a special guest, which I'm like, the Verve also too. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like Richard Ashcroft, like, oh boy.
I've been listening to Fontaine's DC like nonstop. I really love them. I saw them live in DC and they delivered so good.
I love them, by the way. But they dress like shit, man. Sorry. Like,
they have style. It's their own style.
Well, I'm a product of that. Like, to me, style matters. Like, another like that's where I like from Paul Weller. It's like the whole package. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. Paul Weller is a very well-dressed man. Let's not sound old here, David. We are probably old enough to be their parents. Style has just changed. And I think the style nowadays is no style.
Yeah.
The lead singer likes to wear a skirt. Well, it's not a skirt, a skort or...
a kilt?
Yeah, but it's not tartan.
Or was it one of those, like a sarong?
No, it's probably a kilt. It's just not your traditional tartan colors.
Okay.
No, I cried during their performance. It was amazing. I went to church.
You went to church.
I was moved.
Hallelujah!
You are going to have so much fun seeing Oasis, though. You are probably their biggest fan.
Fuck yeah. That's right.
2 gigs. The Gallagher brothers. Good for you.
Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. You know what I'm saying? They are the fucking lads.
Yeah, you're a lad, mate. Well, David, thanks so much for your time. It's been a good chat. It's been emotional. You're fun. Thanks for doing this with me.
You too. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll be a recurring guest.
Yeah, we could get some good banter going on. You got to stop saying like, though. David, I love you, man. I'm rooting for you. I prefer the sober David for sure. Hey, keep texting me those funny Mighty Boosh clips and the new music you find. Oh, he sent me Kenny Hoopla. So good. Check him out, Kenny Hoopla.